So I'm Erin Magoo, and this is another episode of the History Show. Today I'm here with my grandmother Elizabeth Magoo. So, Elizabeth, where and when were you born?
I was born in Greenville, Mississippi in 1927.
Okay. So when did your family and your husband's family come to the U.S.?
My family came to the United States before the Civil War from Germany and from Switzerland.
Where did your husband's family?
Well, they came much earlier than that. The Magoos came from Northern Ireland before the Revolutionary War.
Okay. So, what wars were our ancestors part of?
Again?
What wars were our...
What wars? Oh, that's a wonderful story. My husband, your grandfather, was in World War II. He was 27 years old, and after the war, he ran a prison camp in Berlin. And the Magoos, the first Magoo got here as a young boy, 17, and he was in the Revolutionary War. And then 5 Magoo brothers from southern Georgia went to the Civil War. And then my husband's grandfather walked home from Appomattox Courthouse in Virginia back to southern Georgia, and then he moved to Mississippi. And so we've been in lots of wars.
So, how have floods affected our family?
I was not even a month old when the great Mississippi flood happened, and it happened right there near Greenville, Mississippi, where I was born. And I lived through the Mississippi flood, and I was in an office building on the 2nd floor as a little baby.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute, I left out the New Orleans flood. I lived in New Orleans when Hurricane Katrina came in 2005, just like you did.
So, what state did my ancestors live in before the Civil War and after the Civil War?
My family lived in Pennsylvania, my side of the family. Now, the Magoo side of the family first lived in North Carolina, and after the Revolutionary War, the government gave John Magoo, a soldier, land in Georgia. It's called a land grant because he was a Revolutionary soldier. And then the Magoos lived in Georgia a long time until our Civil War ancestor, William Marion Magoo, moved to Mississippi.
Okay. So, how many brothers and sisters do you have?
I had 1 brother and 2 sisters.
Okay. So, what are some of the funniest nicknames in your family?
Well, my father was in his 80s, and they still called him Bubba. And I had a nephew named Bubba, and I had a niece named Puddin', another one named Noodles, and my nickname all my life was Buddha, and all my grandchildren call me Boo or Booze.
Okay.
Kind of southern names.
Okay. So, what was your life like during the Great Depression?
I lived in Greenville, Mississippi in the Great Depression, and I didn't know anybody that wasn't poor. All of us were poor. And if you had a job, you were lucky. You were very lucky. My mother made all our clothes, and we just didn't know any better. Everybody was just as happy as they could be, but we were all poor. Huh? Oh, well, my father was a wonderful salesman, Erin. He loved everybody, and he sold for a wholesale grocery company. And he back then, so many of his customers were neighborhood Chinese grocers, and he learned to speak Chinese to help support his family, and they just loved him because they could order in Chinese from him.
That's pretty cool. So, how did you meet my grandfather?
Well, he used to date my oldest sister, and then she got married, and then we started dating.
So, what do you hope for your future descendants?
I hope these Texas descendants are very healthy and happy and have lots of boots and tall hats and horses and live the life of a wonderful Texan.
Okay. So that's all the time we have. And thank you for coming, and happy birthday.
How old do you think I'm going to be?
84. Happy 84th birthday.
Thank you.
And that is another episode of The History Show. I'm Erin Magoo. See you next week.